In this video, I am going to share some things to think about before you decide to resell full-time. If that sounds interesting, stay tuned.
Started small, now we roll, watch the empire rise. Flipping treasures, catching eyes, no surprise, we the prize. We got the deals that make you feel like royalty. 3 queens on the ground, respect and loyalty.
Hey friends, it is Stephanie from 3 Queens Resell, and if you are a full-time reseller or into reseller content or want to start reselling, well, this is the place to be. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. I have been reselling for 6 years now. My name is Stephanie and I am with 3 Queens Resell. So whether you're it's your first time here or you're a reseller bestie, welcome. I wanted to do this video because we are approaching the end of August and I have not had a good month. And the reason I haven't had a good month is because, well, I've been sick. So for a little context, I started the month off with a cold. I thought it was like just a cold, and then it got worse. So then I thought it was COVID. It wasn't COVID. So I just tried to self-treat, and then I let another week go by. And so I went to like a minute clinic in the CVS. Well, I had a sinus infection. So I got the antibiotics, started feeling marginally better. But in that time, I started having these massive headaches whenever I was at the Goodwill outlet, or anytime I would lift up and try to like really exert myself. Like if I lifted up a bag of clothes or a bag of laundry, I would get a bad headache, or just even exert myself like walking really fast uphill. So after I went through all the antibiotics, I was still feeling bad and the headaches were getting like more intense. So went to the doctor earlier this week and she was like, okay, sinus infection's gone, but these headaches are troubling. Like I still had some like inflammation, so she put me on some steroids, which I'm on now, so knock on wood, like that cures the situation. But she was like, I'm concerned that there was like a blockage or some polyps or like a tumor like that might be causing these headaches. So instantly I like freaked out. Not really like outwardly freaked out, but it definitely got my mind going. So we're just going to pray that these steroids knock out whatever the issue is, and the headaches have gotten better. I have noticed over the past 2 days that I've been on them that I haven't had them as much. So there's already been some improvement. The pressure is still there, but we're only on day 2. But that got me thinking that it's time to revisit like the stability of doing this full time, because a lot of my friends and family get really excited about the idea of working for themselves. However, they are detoured by my health insurance situation, and they are detoured because I work a lot of time. I work every day of the week. For some point of time. Even when I go on vacation, I take my laptop with me. And as you guys know, I create videos and content and all that. So I wanted to go over 5 things to consider before you decide to quit your day job and go full-time. But I want to preface these 5 things by saying, for me, quitting my teaching job and doing this was like a 1-year project that has now turned into 4 years. So I've been full-time for 4 years. I've been reselling 6 years total. And it has been the best decision for my life. My job as a teacher had become very stressful and not as rewarding as it had been. And I was really just missing out on life, like life with my kids, life with my husband. And I really wanted my time back for myself to manage my time how I wanted, not necessarily just live for the weekends and the summers, but if I wanted to go visit my daughter down in Bloomington and have lunch with her, I wanted that freedom to do that. And I couldn't do that while working as a teacher full time because I needed to be at school. I wanted to put my youngest on and off the bus every day, and I wanted to spend more slow down life. There were lots of things, and if you go back in my history, there were lots of things that led to that, but the primary thing was losing my dad. He had passed away, and that really kind of sparked me like, this tomorrow is not promised, and so I'm going to do it now. I'm not going to wait till I retire from teaching, and at that time it would have been 8 years. I'm going to do it now, and if it doesn't work, I'll come back to teaching, but I'm just going to give it a go. And so that's what I did, and that's what I'm doing, and we're still here. So I do want to preface this with that. I don't want to discourage anybody, but these are definitely some things that I think that you should think about. So first of all is financial stability. One of the things that kept me in my teaching job probably a few years longer than it should have were those golden handcuffs. Yes, that paycheck, that having the same amount of money come in every 2 weeks helped me create some bad habits. And so I wasn't extremely good at managing my money because if I spent down my checking account down, I was good in that I've always put a portion in savings, but I would buy things and spend frivolously and shop because I knew I was going to get paid again every 2 weeks, and I wasn't going to be long without something in there. So when you decide to go full-time, you need to think about having 6 to 12 months of your expenses saved up, just in case, just to give yourself some, I gotta plug my charger in here, phone's going dead, just to give yourself some runway to get started. There'll be slow months, there'll be down months, but just to always have that cushion, even if you don't have to dip into it. Things are unpredictable. If you start in the summer is the slowest time, so it's going to go up from there. But if you start Q3, you might be like disappointed when, June and July come. So those are things to think about. The income is not steady. And if you are not one that is good with your money, the financial stability could be very stressful. Think about your current debts and obligations. I do have a college-age daughter. I do have, a home, bills like everybody else. So you need to know what you need. How much money do you need? So be honest about that. How much do you, if you like to travel, spend, eat out? I will say I personally don't make as much money as I did when I was teaching. It's getting very close. And once we bring YouTube on, we get monetized, and that videos are really being viewed, and I'm creating more videos and have a bigger fan base there, as well as on TikTok. That will be an additional income and will be golden. It's taken a lot of time to build that. Some people build much quicker. They're much more consistent with that type of thing. But you do need to be able to manage your reselling business and your personal finances. So think about all of those things. Next thing you need to think about is how much do you know about running a business? And it's not that you can't learn on the fly, but there's one thing, hold on, I took some notes here. There's one thing to do it part-time like I was doing at first, and then I had this whole paycheck. So when I started and I was part-time and I was a full-time teacher, and then of course my husband had his income, the resale money was all extra. It was all fun money to pay down debts, pay for the kids' cheer, to buy them extra things that they wanted. So I wasn't really running a business and trying to pay taxes and figure all that out. And I wasn't as focused on how quickly is this going to sell? How much am I going to make off this? Like, is it going to sit for years? So understanding, and so in that time, one of the things I've really focused on since April is sell-through rate, because I don't want to invest money in items that are going to sit for years and then only profit $12 off of them. We have a large space downstairs, so it is what it is. We have lots of items like that I've sourced in the past, and we're selling through them. But going forward, I don't mind to make $10 or $12 off of something because we are volume based. But I would like to make that $10 or $12 in 9 months, reinvest, go, flip, go, not have these low profit items that we hang on to for years and years. But everybody's business model, business strategy is different. And one of my struggles is still managing my receipts, managing my ins and outs. I just haven't found a system that I like. That has never been a strong suit for me. I can manage inventory. I can list and do all those things. Like those come naturally to me. So learning that skill set has still been a struggle, and it is a goal of mine to harness that sooner rather than later. I've already talked about, I've kind of combined 2 and 3. So I talk about reselling experience and understanding trends, but also your growth strategy, your business model, understanding your target audience. Like I said, I am going to source at the bins predominantly because I want to resell in bulk, and mostly bread and butter items. Not if I find high-end things, of course I will take them and list them, but that is my business model. And when you determine your business model, you determine how many things that you're going to list, what the sell-through rate of those things are, what you want your average sell price to be after fees and shipping and all that. Those are all things I didn't do up front. Like I said, I came from being part-time to full-time. And those are some things that you should probably put in place at the start just to help you develop your budget and your money management and get an understanding of what you're going to have to do to cover all of your bills and to save for those rainy days. Number 4 is time management and self-discipline. I have all kinds of list charts. This is my newest thing on this dry erase board that I fill in each day. Some data points that I want to focus on for the month. If you are not a self-starter, this isn't for you. Being an entrepreneur is not for you. There is nobody pushing me, encouraging, other than my husband, but if he's also can be my worst enemy because he'll be like, let's lay down, let's go get tacos. So you have got to develop a routine and a structure just like you would if you worked for someone else. Now you can be flexible in that. So I have tasks that I want to do every day, but I don't have to do them at the same time every day. I personally like to try to have a routine where I can do the same things at the same time every day, but as long as the things get done, that's all I need to happen. And you've got to be your own cheerleader. Even during summer slowdown, when things are slow, you've got to be able to continue to motivate yourself and do the things even when you don't feel like it. I can struggle with mental health things and get anxious or depressed from time to time, but I still have to get up and be self-directed and get my work done because I always use the slogan, if you don't work, you don't eat. I'm still going to eat. I have a very supportive husband and we are a 2-income family. And so things are still going to get paid for, but you might not be in that situation and you might really, really, really need to make a certain amount each month. And 5, I would say you need an emotional and practical support system. Like I mentioned, August has been rough for me with my health. I don't think that I've had like 2 good days in a row health-wise where I felt really good. And now I'm like really stressed about what causes these headaches. For the longest, I thought it was because I didn't drink enough water. So I've really focused on drinking more. But hopefully we're going to figure that out here in the next few weeks. and September will be, well, hopefully next few days, and September will be better. But it is so important to have family and friends that are supportive of what you're doing, but also mentors in the reselling community. And hopefully that is what I can be to some of you as I'm 6 years into it. And I give you the good and bad and the ugly. Some days I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And then some days I'm like, this is the best thing ever. So it has its highs and lows. It's not, what does that guy say on Sister Wise? It's not all Skittles and rainbows or whatever. But it is something that I enjoy doing, and I can foresee myself doing until I start to retire, the retirement process. Another thing, it's great to have someone to lean on for financial support. I did not decide to do this lightly. I really thought about it. I talked to my husband about it, and if he would have been like, oh, I don't know if we could do it, like, I would not have done it. Because I would not ever want to put my family in financial hardship. Once again, I was a full-time teacher for 23 years, so I had a certain income and fringe benefits that I no longer have. And so you also need to think about those fringe benefits. Like, I don't have PTO, so when I'm like laying in bed not feeling well, my mind is thinking like, I'm gonna have to lay down for a minute and then get up and do some work. We don't have we do have medical insurance. We pay for it ourselves, so we need to budget for that. We have insurance. This is probably the number one question. What do I do for insurance? We have insurance through the exchange, and it is about $1,000 a month for the four of us. And that is just health insurance, and we have a 10K deductible. So it is not cheap, friends. However, we are reasonably healthy people. And if I were not a type 2 diabetic and my husband a smoker, we could have gotten a lot cheaper. So and I'm 50 and he is 53. So we have 3 adults and 1 child on our insurance. So it is what it is. You need health insurance. So I would never gamble with my kids' health and their ability, especially since they both do competitive cheerleading. I would not ever gamble with our financial security by not having insurance, because one bad situation could wipe you out. What else did I want to talk to you about? I think that's it. I mean, those are things to think about. If I come up with more, I'll do another video. But I don't want to discourage anybody, but just be realistic. The biggest one is, are you going to work? Are you going to do it? Are you a self-starter? Or if you need someone to get on you all the time, this is not the way that you should move. Some people have to work for other people, and some people can be self-directed and motivated. So that, I would say, take a hard look at yourself and see if you can do it. Start part-time. And once you are making enough, you've got your systems and everything in place, and you're making enough part-time that you could feel like, okay, I've got this nest egg saved. I understand what I'm doing. I'm going to go for it. Then just take the leap. We can always go back and get another job. Reselling, I think, is ideal for stay-at-home moms, as well as people who are retired and want to get out of the house and want to do something. There's very low barriers to entry. Start with the items in your home that you're no longer using, wearing. And then you could be making money without even just making profit without putting money out while you build that nest egg. So I hope these are some things for you to think about. Give me a thumbs up. Engage with the video. Let me know if I left anything off the list, you full-time resellers out there. And what are your questions for me as you think about, transitioning into full-time reselling. I'd love to do a follow-up video and answer all those questions. Be sure to engage with the content, friends, and I will see you in the next one.
Watch the empire rise, flipping churches, catching eyes. No surprise, we the prize. We got the deals that make you feel like royalty. 3 queens on the ground, respect and loyalty.